Okay, so I'm here with Ben Johnston, who's going to be fighting again at Akuma. I watched his pro debut last year against Troy Gibson. He's facing another top fighter on the island, so it just shows that this man does not take easy fights. A proper fighter, a true fighter, and someone who I would call my friend up north as well, because we have plenty of
Oh,
conversations. Um,
brother.
yeah, brother, exactly. He sought me out after the last Akuma so we could get a picture together, and that meant the world to me, bro. So I want to say thank you very much. How are you?
I'm good, brother. I'm good. I'm feeling good, excited. Just you know how it is. I love getting a fight and getting in there. Fight camp's going well. Everything's going well with it. So yeah, going back down to 77, obviously after everything. So my ma's been doing my head in about that. So she has. She thinks I'm going to end up dead. But apart from that, everything's going well. I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, it's good. You can understand their concerns as well, obviously, with what happened before, but obviously that was you and Stephen have spoke to me, that was a mistake that was made the day previous, which
Yeah,
affected the day after, and it was one, obviously, it wasn't a great situation, but you came through it, you came back fighting, and it was good to see you back, whether you came back fighting or not, it was a scary situation for everyone, so we can understand it, but like I said, you're gradually going down, so it's not going to be a big cut again, but you're going to be facing Liam. I want to say he was 4-2. I was about to say only 4-2, but that doesn't do him justice because he was kind of on a bit of a rise at the time. He was kind of going through people as well. He had an unfortunate car crash which kept him out for a long, long time. I want to say about 2 years. When this fight came to you, was it an immediate yes? And you're not taking any easy fights, are you, for the pro?
no, I don't. I don't see the point in taking easy fights. I think I just whoever Stephen offers me, I usually always take as long as it makes sense. Like if I have a holiday or something, then it's going to interrupt the fight camp, and they're a real like someone I would need to be really, really training for. I would probably say no, but let's hear fight. I think it got offered. It was quite soon after the Troy fight. So it was. It was actually really soon. And I just said, yeah. Um, I genuinely hadn't heard anything about Liam, but it's obviously because he'd been out for 2 years. So when I started fighting, he was probably just like, he was probably out injured. So just give him a quick Google and then just accepted it straight away.
Yeah, no, it's a good fight and it's a good domestic fight. We've seen a lot more of them creep up. Corey McLaughlin, Di last year. You had
Yeah,
Grozav and Brady, yourself and Troy.
yeah,
You've got obviously yourself and Lean coming up. You've got Keith Kyo against Damien McKenna coming up. I like
yeah,
the regional fights. A lot of people say, oh, they don't like Irish people beating Irish people, but I think we're at a stage that there's so much talent that I think you have to beat the Irish people within the country at pro to stand
yeah.
out. You can't be flying in people all the time. What do you make of the domestic matchups yourself? Like, do you enjoy fighting someone from Ireland even as a pro?
It does. It doesn't really bother me. It's to me. It's just a fight's a fight. Someone said they'd say that to me before, like, years ago. You would really wouldn't have got like domestic matchups as much as a pro, an amateur. You get them all the time, like, but it doesn't bother me. Like, it's not. It's not like it's anything personal. You know, it's just a fight. At the end of the day.
Yeah, and like that, there's always respect shown after, like yourself and Troy,
Yeah,
and everyone. Unless there is bad blood, we very rarely see it. We did see one recently, but we won't go into that. But it's like that years ago, back when the likes of Chris Fields, Paddy Houlihan were fighting. They did all fight each other. Then in the past couple of years, it's kind of gone away. But I think if you want to stand out to being top in the country, I think you have to beat the best in the country as well. So, and like that, Liam is a very, very good fighter. But it's Akuma again, a fantastic show. It was honored to do the commentary for yourself and Troy, two people I have huge amount of respect for. Um, how do you feel about that show? I think that's I think Stephen's so good at matching the shows, at matching the fights. I think obviously he does have fighters on it as well, but he doesn't tailor it to his fighters. If you look at the rest of the card, he is boys that might not sell tickets, but he's giving them shots because they deserve shots. What's your relationship obviously with Stephen? He's your coach, but what's your feeling about fighting on that show, and how do you feel about it?
I go fighting on Akuma. It's always a good show. I haven't had a win on it yet. To be fair, I've fought on it twice. I've lost both times, so third time's a charm here. But it is always good show. You do always get good matchups on it, and as you said yourself, it's always fairly matched. There's never really any. I've never really seen a mismatch on it or anything. I know you don't really usually see them, but you see the odd one here and there. But I like it. I think that the Jim Baker Stadium's a good spot as well. You know. But yeah, I love fighting on Akuma. It's good.
Yeah, I like that stadium as well. It's out and they obviously open up the second field for extra parking the last time as well. So it means you can because Joe, when you go to shows that might be in a city or somewhere, you could be running out, checking your car, putting tickets on it. Whereas obviously you
Yeah.
got there, man, and that place, when you look at the size of that place, the show only uses half of it as well. And you've got a big area out the back. I just think it's a really well run show. I really like the show, and like I said, some of the matchups that I've seen have been fantastic. And I'm actually on holidays that week, so I don't know if I'm going to be there. But I could be there. It depends on when it depends on when I get booked my flight back. But with your first fight there, your first pro fight, you fought Troy. Talk to us about that fight. I thought it was a very good matchup, a very even matchup. How did you feel the fight was going to go, and how did it actually go then in the end? What were the differences you found?
Yeah, I did not expect Troy to be like grappling as much as he did. I thought because he's so tall and rangy, I was working on a lot of like tape defenses and stuff, thinking that he was just going to stay at range. Um, and obviously I took him to the cage in the first 30 seconds of the fight, got the takedown, he got straight back up. Even and I was trying hard to keep him down, and he got up way easy, and I went to myself, don't think this is going to be an easy takedowns from here on. And then it kind of turned into more of a grappling match than any, like a cage wrestling match more than anything, to be fair. And he was so. I said to my coach after one of my other coaches, I said he didn't feel. I felt stronger than him, but he felt really awkward. Like I just felt like I couldn't get him turned. And I don't know if it's because of the height that I always thought it because he was so much taller, it'd be easier to get turned. I'll get under and get the leverage and whatnot. But fucking just wild awkward. Like,
It's mad, maybe because he's like that, and obviously he's in Fight Academy, so he has these different but so he could get someone your size and height, like because you know
yeah,
how many fighters they have in that gym, and kind of mimic stuff coming up. But I think a lot of people might have thought that about Troy because I watched him fight Maga in Cage Legs. He was one of actually the very first event I went to, and that's one thing I noticed about Troy was his cage wrestling was outstanding. Like
yeah.
he was very good, and it was like that. I remember watching you get the turn, and he'd be there for like 20 seconds, but he would just find a way to reverse it. How frustrating was that for you once you got him down the first time and he popped straight back up? How frustrating for you was that as like taking someone down and then popping back up and being able to reverse?
Because it was so early in the fight, it didn't really affect me, because obviously we were both fresh, But then every time I got him turned, to be fair, every time I got him turned, he was just turning me straight away again. Do you know what I mean? I felt like I was getting decent damage off with wee knees and a couple of wee elbows and stuff, but he was doing the exact same. And then he's the one he controlled me most of the fight against the cage. I felt like maybe I'd done a bit more damage with different wee things. But after a while, I think it was going into the third round. Stephen shouted 2.5 minutes left, and I just went, me, how's there 2.5 minutes left? This cunt's just had me pressed against this cage the whole time. You know what I mean? But after a while, it started to get a bit frustrating. But he was good at what he done. You know what I mean? So can't really complain.
Yeah, no, I think he is one of the best at that cage wrestling in the country. I don't think I've seen anyone better to control because like that, he controlled Maga for that fight, and Maga is a big. I think they fought super lightweight, and Maga would be a big super lightweight as well. It's not the sort of way, and quite strong like yourself, and like that. Troy was able to just turn him and stuff like that. How did you find the extra? Like you got the full 15, so you got the
Yeah.
full experience of pro. Talk to us about how that did like. Were you training for it? Obviously, you would have been training for that, but did you feel fatigued at the end, or did you still feel not obviously not to be fresh, but
I feel like I could have maybe. I felt like I could have done another round. Do you know, I was racked. Like, don't get me wrong, but if I had to do another 2 rounds, I definitely think I could have done them. I've always say like, what do you call them? I mean, my head's my blank. I can't remember. But he always says I've deceivingly good cardio. You know what I mean? Because I carry a wee bit of a. I always carried a wee belly and all on me. But any fight I've been in that's went the distance, I've always been pushing the pace a bit. I never really try and just sit back. My amateur career was always going straight for the cage wrestling, like against Gareth that time. And Gareth obviously being the heavier opponent because I didn't cut weight or anything, and I think Gareth did. I think I was talking to him. He said he cut a bit of weight, so I was just pushing the pace.
yeah, no, it was a good fight. Hopefully, I do get to go to Akuma and see the second fight.
Yep.
With Liam, obviously when it goes to pro, we talk for like at amateur, you don't hugely look at other fighters, but obviously at pro that's different. Do you have a set game plan? I'm not going to ask you to say what it is, obviously, but like do you have a route to victory, or do you have many routes to victory? Will you be approaching this one different than you did the last one?
There's a good couple of things we've been working on. I can't really go into details about it, right? But there is stuff we've been working on that I even knew after myself, like what I needed to do. You know, it was just one of them things. Especially at pro, it's a bit everything's a bit different.
Yeah, you've
I
you've
think
got
you've
sorry,
five
go
minutes to work around. You've 5 minutes to work. Um, Everything is just head position and all. Everything needs to be different because obviously you've elbows the head now. So that's why I found that in the Troy fight, where I would have put my head in amateur, I was safe because people look, they could hit these pop shots he got, but
yeah.
wasn't really doing it. Because Troy elbowed the head of me. I looked like the elephant man when I woke up. My head was all swole up round there. It was fucking big. So it was. But so I learned from that head position is very important in pro. Well, maybe not as much as amateur, but head position is important. Like, but when you're getting elbowed, it's a bit need to be a bit more careful.
Yeah, because those elbows can slice and dice and they can open up cuts easy. And like you said, there's a lot of positions like wrestling against the cage, or if he has you against the cage,
Yeah.
like I said, if he needed to swing, he'd bet you'd lose his position, you'd be able to turn, whereas he can just pop off a little elbow. It's these little things that you will pick up as you go on. And obviously, you've got this fight coming up and you're not looking past your opponent. But do you have any plans for the rest of the year, or will this be the one fight of the year, or are you just looking towards this
No,
first?
I'll just this fight at the minute, but I know finally Stephen he'll already have he'll probably have six lined up by Christmas for me. He's a nightmare with it, but I wouldn't have minded getting on Cage Conflict, but I'm away on a family holiday, so I can't do it. But I would have loved to do it. I love Cage Conflict too. It's a good show. But I just kind of looking forward to this fight, and then we'll see what happens.
Yeah, there's no point looking too far ahead or making plans like that. Cage Conflict, that I watched it obviously at Cage Conflict. I think that show was just off the scales with the atmosphere, and it's like a little cauldron, isn't it? It's
Yeah,
mad. I love it. But like that, if you can't do if family holiday, holiday, obviously, like I said, that would affect your camp, or you're going to be able to make it. But
yeah.
I wish you the best of skill going into the fight at Akuma. Is there anything you want to say before you go, or anyone want to shout out? And thank you again for your time this evening.
That's no problem, Dave. And I would just like to shout out all my coaches, Stephen, Pete, James, Simon, and then a shout out to Sigma Fitness for my strength and conditioning, and then a shout out to Big Buster.
Right.
And a shout out to you, Dave, because you're the man.
Not with the no beard though. And thank you for the comments. I'm after being when I came back. I've been inundated with messages saying thank you for coming back and
Yeah.
stuff like that. And it actually hits the heart as you get older, stuff like that hits the heartstrings. And I didn't realize how much I contributed to the scene until I kind of went away and came back, the sort of way. So yeah, I appreciate it.
One thing I always remember, like being, like I think it was my first or second. It might have been my second fight because obviously you wouldn't have knew who I was on my first fight. And I remember you. I think you texted me, or you can't. You did, yeah. You texted me good luck and all. And I always thought to myself, "It's a good man. Like he didn't need to. You know, someone on like their first or second fight and they're texting you good luck. You
Yeah,
know, if you're a high level amateur, everyone's texting you good luck. You know what I mean? Everyone wants to ride the train, but you were doing it for boys probably on their first and their second fight and all, which is a good thing to do. Like,
yeah, it's because I care about all fighters, everyone, and especially as you're coming in, it's tough. And like that's why, not that I don't interview many pros, is the likes of the pros are getting so much attention. Do you know the sort of way? And then it's like I interviewed a lad the other day. He's still only a novice, a teen novice, and like he went to the IMAS and he done really well, and he could potentially go really far. And I like giving people like that an interview to cut their teeth on because a lot of times their first time it's going to be tough and it's going to be hard, it's going to be nerve-wracking, and they get better with time. Damien McGuigan I interviewed as a novice, and it's like that. I just genuinely care about the fighters and everyone in the game, and that's just all that is. And like I said, me and you became brothers out of it, so here
you
we are.
did, you did.
Perfect.
But
So
no, it's
I'm
been
gonna
a
let.
been good so far.
Yeah, no, it
So,
has been good. So, and you've checked in on me as well when I disappeared as well. Then I do appreciate that as well. You among quite a few people. So, but on that note, I'm gonna let you go. Thank you so much for joining me. Best of skill, and I will talk to you soon.
yes, Dave.
Talk to you later.
Right, bro.